Good day everyone, I'm Marlene Jimenez, but before anything else, let me introduce my co-members, Justin Lopez and Chipper Gutierrez. Our topic is all about entering foreign markets. So in this presentation, we will talk about what it means, why it's important, and how businesses expand internationally. We hope you learn something new and enjoy our discussion. First, let's define entering foreign markets. Ito yung process kung saan ang isang company ay nag-expand ng business operation sa iba't ibang bansa. So, ibig sabihin, hindi lang nagbebenta sa local market, kundi pati na rin sa international level. Ginagawa ito ng mga firms para mas lumaki yung market nila, tumaas kita, at magkaroon ng mas maraming customer. Kasama rin dito yung epekto ng globalization kasi ngayon halos lahat ng negosyo ay interconnected na. Kaya mas gusto ng mga company na magtagumpay, kailangan nilang makipagsabayan sa global competitor. Why firms expand internationally? So may apat na main reason. Number 1 is market opportunities. Gusto nilang maabot ang mas maraming customer at makapasok sa bagong market. So example, si Jollibee nag-expand sa US at Middle East para makakuha ng bagong customer. Second is resources access. Makakuha ka ng raw materials o supply na wala sa sariling bansa. So example is Japanese car brands tulad ng Toyota, kumukuha ng parts at steel mula sa iba't ibang bansa. Number 3 is efficiency. Para makapag-produce ng mas mura dahil sa lower labor cost. So example, maraming US company ang nagtatayo ng factories sa China dahil mas mababa ang production cost doon. And lastly, innovation. Gusto nilang matuto ng bagong technology or idea sa iba't ibang bansa. So example, yung Apple at Samsung nag-expand sa iba't ibang bansa para makipag-collaborate sa top engineers at designers. So, ang pag-expand sa iba't ibang bansa ay paraan para lumaki, makatipid at matuto sa isang company. And next, let's talk about liability of foreignness. Ito yung mga disadvantages or challenges na nararanasan ng foreign companies kapag pumasok sila sa ibang bansa. Ayon dito, ang liability of foreignness ay inherent disadvantage that foreign firms experience in host countries because of their non-native status. So, ibig sabihin, dahil hindi sila local, may mga bagay silang kailangan pagdaanan tulad ng number 1 is cultural barriers. Magkaiba ang language, beliefs, at business culture. So, example, yung America brand minsan nahihirapan mag-adjust sa Asian business practices. Second is institutional barriers. May mga bagong batas o regulation na hindi nila kabisado. And next is consumer bias. Minsan mas gusto ng mga foreign ng mga tao ang local products kaysa sa foreign. And lastly, yung regulatory risk. Kailangan nilang sumunod sa local trade laws. So example dito yung Airbus at News Corporation na kailangan mag-adjust sa US para makipagsabayan sa local competitors. Kaya yung pagiging foreign companies ay may kaakibat na risk at adjustments process. Next is overcoming liability of foreignness. So, pero bakit nga ba may mga challenges at may mga paraan naman para overcome ng companies ang liability of foreignness? So, number 1 is understand local institution. Alamin muna nila ang local rules, policies, at business environment ng host country. Number 2 is build legitimacy. Kailangan nilang makuha ang tiwala ng gobyerno at local consumer. Number 3 is adapt to culture. I-adjust ang market products or services based sa kultura ng lugar. Example, yung McDonald's sa India, nag-offer ng vegetarian burgers kasi maraming hindi kumakain ng beef doon. And number 4, use resources wisely. Minsan makipag-partner sila through joint ventures para mas madali kapasok sa market. So, ibig sabihin, Ang pag-adjust at pag-adapt ay susi para maging successful ang foreign country. Next is location-specific advantage. Ito naman ay tumutukoy sa mga benefits or advantage ng isang particular place na nakakatulong sa company. Bawat bansa ay may kanya-kanyang strengths. Pwedeng mas mura ang labor, mas madaling workers, o may natural resources na kailangan sa negosyo. So example, sa China, mura ang production cost. Sa Pilipinas naman, magaling sa English communication kaya maraming BPO companies. Sa Middle East, mayaman sa oil and gas resources. Ayon sa purpose na ito, nalalaman ay para malaman ng companies kung saan pinakamagandang magtayo ng branch or factory depende sa goal nila. So, next is 4 strategic goals na pwedeng sundan ng companies sa pagpili ng location. Number 1 is natural resources seeking. Naghahanap ng bansang mayaman sa raw materials. Example dito yung oil companies pumupunta sa mga Middle East. Number 2 is market seeking. Gusto ng mga companies na pumasok sa lugar na may malaking demand o maraming customer. Example dito is Jollibee sa US or Japan dahil malaki yung market potential nila. Number 3 is efficiency seeking. Naghahanap ng lugar na mababa ang production cost. Example, mga garments factory sa Vietnam or China. Number 4 is innovation seeking. Pupunta sa mga lugar na kilala sa advanced technology. Example, sa tech companies sa Silicon Valley or India. Kaya depende sa goal ng company, doon nila pipiliin kung saan sila mag-ooperate. And that's all my part.
Let's talk about the market entry timing and non-equity modes. First is timing of entry, the first mover and late mover advantage. The advantage of first mover is they are the first to enter the market. The advantages can be gained strong brand recognition because as the pioneer, the brand will be synonymous with the product category. The early customer will likely to stick with the familiar brand. The first mover often sets the technological or design standards, features, and functionality that the other company must follow. This influence can create lasting competitive advantage, and early entrants can secure the best locations, suppliers, or exclusive deals before the competitors arrive. Next is the advantage of late mover. They are the one who enter the market has matured. Late movers can observe the strategies and missteps of the first movers, allowing them to avoid the pitfalls, costly errors, and optimize their own approach. The late movers can also tailor their products to meet the specific needs and preferences that the first mover may have missed. Last is by entering the market after demand has proven. The late movers can reduce the risk of launching the product that no one wants. Next is non-equity modes of entry. These are the methods that companies use to expand their business into foreign countries without making substantial financial investments or taking an ownership stake in the foreign company. Instead of buying or creating a subsidiary, the company enters the market through other means. These are the components of non-equity modes of entry. First is exporting. The exporting is selling a product to people in other countries instead of just selling in your local area. Next is direct export. To simplify it, is just selling your products directly to your customers in another country without using the middleman. The exporter manages the sales process, logistics, distribution, and payment collection. The advantages of direct export. When you directly export your products, you maintain fully control over how your brand is presented in the foreign market. This means you can ensure consistent messaging, set prices that aligns with your brand value by cutting out the middleman. You can avoid sharing your profits with distributors or agents. This allows you to capture a larger portion of the revenue from each sales, potentially increasing your profit margins. The disadvantages of direct export. Direct exporting means that the company handles everything from marketing to shipping. It requires a significant investment of time, effort, and money to manage this process effectively. When selling directly to customers in a foreign market, there's a higher risk of not getting paid. This could be due to economic instability in the buyer's country or fraudulent transactions. The next is indirect export. This is the opposite of direct export. Instead of selling directly to the customers in another country, you sell to a middleman who takes care of the exporting for you. The advantages of indirect export. With indirect exporting, you don't need to hire a large team or invest heavily in setting up foreign operations. The intermediary will handle most of the tasks. It will reduce your financial and operational burden. Intermediaries often have a extensive knowledge of foreign markets, including consumer preferences, cultural nuances, and regulatory requirements. The disadvantages of indirect export. When you use an intermediary to export your goods, they will add a markup to cover their costs and make a profit. It means that you will receive a less money for each product sold compared to direct exporting where you keep the full profit. In indirect exporting, the intermediary has control over how your product is priced, advertised, and sold in foreign market. This lack of direct control can lead to inconsistencies in your brand image and marketing strategies. The next is contractual agreement. Contractual agreement is like a promise between two or more people or companies that is written down and legally enforceable. It spells out what each party is responsible for doing. If someone breaks their promise, the other party can take them to court. Here are the components of contractual agreement. First is licensing. Licensing is like renting your company's special stuff like brand logos, inventions, or creative works to another company. They get to use your stuff to make and sell products. In return, they pay you fees or royalties or percentage of their sales. The agreement spells out exactly what they can use, for how long, and how much they pay you. The pros of licensing. First, for the licensor, low financial investment. It's like renting out your idea. Instead of building a whole store, you don't need to spend much money to get started in a new place. Also, you can reach new customers in other countries without doing all the work yourself. It's faster than setting up your own business there. Next is for the licensee. You gain access to key technology and brand recognition because you get to use a well-known brand or a special technology that would take you a long time and a lot of money to create yourself. It also have a lower cost because it's cheaper to rent someone else's idea than to come up with your own scratch. Next is the cons of licensing. First, for the licensor. The licensor can fully control how the other company uses their brand or technology, which could damage their reputation if they don't maintain the quality. Also, the company that they license could learn from the licensor and eventually become a competitor. Additionally, the company only get percentage of sales or royalties, so the company make less money compared if they sold the product themselves. Next is the licensee. For the licensee need to spend money to set up a production and marketing. It also need to invest in adapting product for the market. Moreover, the licensee need to pay royalties to the licensor, which cut the profit. Next is franchising. Franchising is a way for business or the franchisor to grow by allowing other people or the franchisee to open their own stores using the original business name, products, and methods. McDonald's is the classic example of franchise. The company licenses its brands, operational systems, and menu to franchisees who operate individual restaurants. The franchisee follow the McDonald's standards for food preparation, customer service, and restaurant design. Next is the pros of franchising. First, for the franchisor can gain rapid expansion by using the capital of franchisee to open those locations for the franchisor instead of using their own money to open up new locations. This lets the franchisors to grow their business without taking on as much financial risk themselves. Also, the franchisor is like hired and motivated managers because the franchisee have a personal stake in the success of their business because it's their own investment. They are more likely to work hard and be dedicated to making a business thrive. Next is for the franchisee. The franchisee will have immediately established brand by using the name that customers already know and trust. So no need to start from scratch to build a reputation. Also, the customers are more likely to try your business because they are familiar with the brand. Furthermore, the franchisee will have will have a access to a tested model and operating procedures. The franchisee will get a ready-made blueprint for running the business. Next is the concept of franchising. First, for the franchisor will have loss of control because letting someone else to run a store with your name or brand on it, you can't be there all the time to make sure they are doing everything exactly how the franchisor want it. It also have a risk of damage to brand because if franchisee does something wrong like bad services or using low quality ingredients, it can it can make your own whole brand look bad and terrible. Next is for the franchisee. It will cost a lot of money to get started as a franchisee because they will have to pay a big fee upfront and then they have to keep paying a percentage of their sales to the franchisor every month. Also, the franchisee will have a limited control because the franchisee need to follow the franchisor's rules. Even if they don't agree with them, they can change the menu, the store layout, or the marketing strategies without their permission. Next is turnkey projects. A turnkey project is when a company or the contractor agrees to handle everything from start to finish. They will provide a design, they build it and make sure it's ready to use. And all the clients need to do is provide some basic requirements and they will get to the finished product. The advantages of turnkey projects. It will reduce client risk because the builder will take all the blame if someone goes wrong like delays or costing too much. It will have time efficiency because you don't have to hire different people from different jobs so the projects gets faster done. And last is the turnkey contracts typically based at fixed price so they know exactly how much the project will cost from the beginning. The disadvantages of turnkey projects, it have less control for the clients because the entire design and project is taken care of by the contractors, but it will cost high because the contractor is taking all the risk and doing all the work. R&D contracts. An R&D contract is like hiring a team of experts to invent something for the company instead of hiring those experts as employees. The pros of R&D contracts. It's cheaper if the company hires someone else to do the research because they don't have to pay for their salaries, equipment, or office space. Also, they can find talented people in countries when labor costs are lower. Moreover, they can hire experts who know the things that the company don't know instead of trying to do it themselves and making things worse. The cons of R&D contracts. When the company outsources R&D, they letting the another company to handle their inventing and research. It means that they have less say on how things are done and what the results are. The inventions and ideas of the company are valuable. When they outsource R&D, there's a risk that the other company could steal the idea of the company or use it without the permission of the company. And last is co-marketing. A co-marketing agreement is like two companies teaming up to promote each other or what they agree on. They make a deal to share their customers and marketing efforts to get more attentions and sales. The pros of co-marketing. By working with another company, you can show your product to their customers and they can show their products to yours. And the cons of the co-marketing, it can be hard to work with another company because you might have different ways of doing things.
Thank you, Mr. Gutierrez. So, good day, everyone. I'm Lopez Justin. So, today I'll be discussing the three important topics. One is equity modes of market entry. Two, ethical issues in international trade. And three, key consideration in market entry. So, equity modes of entry. Equity modes are strategies that require a company to invest directly in another country. They involve high financial commitment and high control, but also come with high risk. So, the main types are joint venture and wholly owned subsidiary. First one is joint venture. A joint venture is when a foreign company partners with a local company. They share ownership, management, profits, and losses. The advantage of venture is one, shared risk and cost because both companies contribute money and resources, so the financial burden is lighter. The second is local knowledge. The local partner knows the market, laws, and culture, making it easier to operate. And three, easier market entry. Having a local partner helps the foreign company enter the market faster and build relationship. So the disadvantage of venture is one, conflict of interest. Partner may disagree on goals, management style, or profit sharing. Second, share control. The foreign company cannot make all the decisions independently. And last, unequal commitment. Sometimes one partner may work harder and invest more, causing problems in partnership balance. So the next one is wholly owned subsidiary. In this strategy, the parent company owns 100% of the operations abroad. There are two main ways to do this. Number one is greenfield investment, building a new operation from scratch, like a new factory or branch. For example, a car company builds a new factory in another country. The second one is acquisition, buying an already existing local company. For example, a multinational buying a local food brand. So, the advantage of fully owned subsidiary is one, full control. The parent company has total authority over operations, management, and profits. The second is protection of technology and brand. Since there are no local partners, there is less risk of information leakage. Number three is stronger brand identity. The company can maintain its global standard and image consistently. The disadvantage of fully owned subsidiary is one, high financial cost. It requires a large amount of investment, especially if building from scratch. Number two is higher management risk. If the market fails, the company bears all the losses alone. The last one is complex management. Managing operation across countries can be difficult due to distance, culture, and language difference. Ethical issues in international trade. When trading globally, companies face ethical challenges that affect fairness and competition. One common issue is dumping. Dumping happens when a company sells goods in another country at a price lower than its normal value, often to destroy competition. To prevent this, government create anti-dumping policies which place taxes or penalties on those unfairly priced products. For example, in the US versus India steel case, where India was accused of selling steel below cost in the US market. Such cases show how ethics and fairness play a big role in a global trade. Key consideration in market entry. Before entering a foreign market, businesses should carefully analyze these factors. Number one is motivation. The reason for expansion, whether it's growth, profit, or access to resources. Number two is market research. Understanding the target market size, competition, and customer preference. Number three is cultural adaptation. Adapting to local customers' beliefs and communication style. Number four is regulations, legal and economic risk. Knowing the country's trade laws, taxes, and political or economic stability. And that's all for the report of Group 9. Thank you.